And testing.
Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, WW7ATS. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. It's a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage. There you'll find some information about our organization, the frequencies we operate, and also find a link to YouTube where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for allowing us to use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a tone of 103.5 on Cougar Mountain for our voice transmissions. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact on the 08 machine before our net gets fully underway. This is Dave, WW7CYM.
N7KC.
And hearing nothing back with that, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, WW7CYM. So far checked into the net this evening by video is Lee, N7KC, Bert, N7CS, Richard, K7ITX, Wade, W7ITL, Jim, N7QO, and myself, Dave, WW7CYM. If there's anybody else who wishes to check in this evening. Hearing none, let's go up to the top to Lee, N7KC in Port Angeles.
Okay, very good. Well, I'm off trying to look up exactly where Bird is, but anyway, so this is N7KC Lee in Port Angeles. Well, good evening all. I haven't been here in a couple of sessions, so it's nice to be back. Last Wednesday night was a local club meeting, and the Saturday before that we had company, so who are not, they don't have a radio persuasion, so there you go. Anyway, I don't have much to report tonight. Still continuing pretty chilly over here in the mid-30s to high 30s, maybe 40 in the morning. Warm up slightly in this afternoon, and pretty dry still. So anyway, good to see you all tonight. Back to you, Dave. This is N7KC Lee at Port Angeles.
KC, thanks for that. Well, we got a DX check-in from New Caledonia, so let's go to NCCS.
Okay, let's see. Can people hear me all right? Okay, I'm getting the thumbs up. So try to change it to a different mic to see if this is any louder than the other one. But yeah, this is Bert in NCCS. I am on Echolink in the land of New Caledonia. It's a French territory that is about 750 miles east of Australia. So I flew to Brisbane, Australia on Monday, and then on Thursday, well, it took until, I guess, Wednesday to get there, and then Thursday was spent boarding the ship, which was a whole deal, and then we've had 2 days at sea, and today has been our first port on this long 22-day journey, so we're on like day 3 or 4 right now, something like that. So this ship will end up traveling all the way to Seattle, so next stop will be Fiji, then a couple of places in French Polynesia, Tahiti being one of them, then Honolulu, and then from Honolulu is going to truck it all the way to Seattle. So I've done like a series of cruises before that were longer than this, but I've never done a single cruise segment as well. So it's a little bit of an adventure. I'm on not the pleasant side of the ship with the New Caledonia, if you like the commercial fishing, commercial port and everything here. But, I didn't bring my stopwatch with me, so I'll stop here now and talk more later. In 76, this is Bert from New Caledonia.
CS, thanks for that, Bert. Let's go on to Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
Right. Well, this is fantastic, Bert. You happen to be where my aunt on my mother's side, be my uncle's, my mother's brother, his wife grew up and was raised in New Caledonia, so she was fluent French. I believe her family still lives there. However, she's passed on, but that's pretty cool. The only other time I've heard about New Caledonia, from my aunt, obviously. New Caledonia from you, but believe it or not, there used to be a television show called McHale's Navy, and McHale's Navy, they always went to New Caledonia for whatever reason. So maybe some of us old-timers, other old-timers besides me might remember that show. But the breaking news. Before my eyes this second, looks like a evacuation of a Washington State ferry boat in Rich Passage, the route between Seattle and Bremerton. The ferry boat has gone aground. It went aground about 3.5 hours ago, from what I understand. I see the Kitsap passenger ferry kind of docked alongside, not docked, but right alongside. And it looks like people with life jackets are going from the ferry onto the, on the auto ferry onto the passenger ferry. And now, what happens after that, who knows? I mean, they're not going to be able to drive anyway. Ferry boat is aground. So that's it from here. Oh, by the way, watching this on the internet, YouTube. I think it's a King 5 direct feed right now. Pretty exciting for just a regular Saturday night. K7ITX, back to net control.
ITX, thanks for that information. Well, let's pick up Wade in Tacoma, W7ITL. More try for W7ITL, Wade in Tacoma. Response, let's go to Jim, N7QO.
Thank you, Dave. You missed Bob. Did you want to get him now?
It mentioned that he wanted to be passed over.
Maybe you missed it. I'm feeling better and would like to be in the rotation, please.
You're back in, Bob. Thanks for that. Well, let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Yeah, I've had one of my crazy sleep days, and I woke up only shortly before the net and was feeling not so great, but it just took a few minutes to wake up, and I'm feeling okay now. But that is really crazy about the ferry. I don't believe I've ever heard of that happening. It may have happened. I was away for 10 years in Chicago. Maybe it happened at that time, but I can't remember a ferry being evacuated. And yeah, what are they going to do with all the cars? I mean, I assume they'll get it back floating again at some point, but it could be a while. I mean, especially with tides, who knows what's going to happen. And McHale's Navy, I did watch it as a kid, and I'm sure it was already in syndication at that time, but I paid no attention to wherever they were going into port, so I was not aware at all about that. Let's see what's new here. Well, just a lot of things coming up. A friend of mine his son just had a baby. He became a grandfather, his first grandchild in his family, so that was a big deal. And there are three on the way in my family. My sister's oldest daughter is pregnant, and a brother of mine's oldest son, he and his wife are going to have identical twins. So things are happening in that sense. Okay, with that, I'll send it back. K9PQ.
Thank you. Thanks for that. Now let's go back to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, good evening, everyone. Good to see you all. Bert, glad you can connect with us there. Wow. Bob, good luck with the sleep. Sorry about that. Man, I wish I had some words of wisdom, but I don't. I was kind of told, flying international, sleep when you're tired, eat when you're hungry. That was kind of the most sound advice that I got, I think, because different people try different things, and nothing seemed to work. Good luck, Bob. Hang in there. Well, wow. Yeah, McHale's Navy. My wife and I used to watch that all the time as well. In fact, it was on one of the local stations here a couple years ago for a while, and my wife and I would watch that. I don't remember them saying anything about New Caledonia, though. Maybe I just wasn't paying that close attention. I don't know. But thanks for mentioning about that ferry. Holy cow. Ran aground. That we'll have to check that out on the news tonight. Well, let's see. I missed the last net. I was unable to notify anyone that I was going to miss the net. My apologies for that. What happened? Apparently, where they put this one implant in my jawbone, the adjacent tooth, which was a crown, was experiencing increased stress, and yep, I broke it off Wednesday afternoon. So I called the dentist to see if they could accommodate me, and they said be here at 5 o'clock. So I was there at 5 o'clock, actually before 5 o'clock, and it turns out they were going to squeeze me in or something. So I've got another crown in the works, and it's kind of, this crown may entail the addition of an extra tooth in my mouth, but they say insurance won't pay for that because it's an extra tooth. So I don't get it. Whatever. It's apparently the implant which they drilled into my jawbone, excuse me, was misplaced a little bit, so it's going to result in an asymmetric implant, and so now where there were 2 teeth, it's like there's room for 3 teeth. Things get more interesting as you get older. It just kind of works that way. Anyway, back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, oh my. Well, let's move on to James, WU7N.
Good evening to all. We're glad everyone could come tonight. Looks like we're getting some digital interference noises that just completely blank people out. So if that happens to me, please let me know. I'm trying to use the Cougar box tonight. So, Dave, how am I doing?
Okay.
Okay, well, Bert, I don't know if you can hear me, but New Caledonia, I think that's probably the second longest check-in next to the guy from Australia. So thanks for checking in. It's 2 p.m. over there, I think, in New Caledonia. But it's tomorrow already. It's already Sunday. That's always kind of an interesting thing to think about. And McHale's Navy, I remember seeing that as a kid, and I remember even noticing as a kid that it seemed to essentially, McHale's Navy was a stage play. I guess that was the golden age of television, but that was the low-budget version, because anytime they had to do anything actually on the torpedo boat, I even noticed as a kid, it was the same 2 or 3 pieces of... Maybe that's a false memory. I don't know. I haven't seen it in, 40, 50 years, so that was quite a while back. And Bob, congratulations. I think we're called grand uncles. Is that what we are? When your sister becomes a grandmother, what does that make you? You'll have to fill me in on what you think it is. I think it's a great uncle or a grand uncle. I'm not sure. Jim, I hope your teeth get better soon. That sounds awful. You have extra teeth in your mouth. That's not a common problem I've heard in people of our age bracket, but I hope you can haggle with the insurance company and get them to pay for at least part of the tooth. Maybe you could make an appeal and say that if they pay for this tooth, then the next extra tooth you have, they won't have to pay for. Maybe you could go for that. Anyway, request for prayers tonight. The lady that a couple of us follow on YouTube, Physics Girl, also known as Diana Cowan, she apparently is still sick with long COVID. She was fully vaxxed, fully boosted, and she got COVID anyway. But then she got better. But then she got long COVID, which I guess is pretty devastating. So anyway, I hope she recovers. Back to you, Dave.
7N, James, thanks for that. And this... Yeah. Well, here in Lake City, I got 49 degrees and cloudy outside. Yesterday, I got the cold. The only thing I had to complain about was drinking a gallon of their special Kool-Aid, but that passed, so to speak. But the outcome was no problems. Everything was pristine, no polyps. Everything looked fine. Intact and working functionally properly. So that's all I got to report on that. And this is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. So let's go back up to Lee, N7KC.
Okay. This is N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Well, very good. Well, thanks a lot for the report on the ferry. I had not heard that. So that might make the national news tonight. I don't know. Saturday night. We don't really get any national news on Saturday night, so we'll probably have to wait till tomorrow. Anyway, I hope nobody got hurt or anything. That can be pretty exciting in the passage there if the tide's really running. Been through there many times. Well, very good. I again don't have anything to report. I'm on the camera I'm on is the Logitech C920X, and I'm liking it pretty well. I think what I'll do is, before I come around the next time, if I do, I'll run off and get capture running, which gives me control over the camera, and it's a video feed into most programs. So I'll give that a try. The only thing else of note was that I added an extra year yesterday. And I don't feel any different. Still here. So there you go. It's one of those things. You can't seem to stop it. But I am willing to give away anybody that wants some. I'd give them some. Just a few years. It'd be fine with me. So I'm going to quit while I'm ahead, Dave. This is N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Back to you, Dave.
KC, thanks for that. Might be interesting to monitor Coast Guard radio regards to the ferry situation. I imagine there's probably a lot of chatter going on that. And so let's go to Bert, N7.
Okay, got the button pressed there, and I found a stopwatch thing on the website now. Let's see, yeah, so the cruise I'm on will be passing 3 imaginary lines. The Tropic of Capricorn, which we did pass yesterday, and then sometime later in the cruise we'll be crossing the International Date Line and the Equator. So we have 2 more imaginary lines to be looking out for. On that ferry incident, I was reading something about that on Reddit earlier, and some of the people who were on board the ferry said basically the lights went out then on Twitter, somebody, I don't know if it was the captain or somebody, said that basically propulsion has been lost and you brace for impact. And then shortly after that, they kind of had a soft grounding that they ran into. And, oh, a little louder. Okay, sorry. And I'll see what I can do there. And then I did hear that one of the passengers on the ferry was bringing a brand new car right from the dealership to home. So now they probably have to wait to get their brand new car home. So it probably will be a while before that gets offloaded. Let's see if I have anything else going on. Probably not just at this time. Oh, one thing. You were talking about the New Caledonia or the McHale's Navy. I've heard of that show. I've never watched it, but speaking of the Navy reminded me, they had a military base at the top of a mountain that we drove up to in a bus a little earlier today. And there were a lot of very tall antennas. It looked like there's some like good HF antennas on that base. I wanted to get some pictures, but there's a big placard on the fence that said no pictures beyond the fence. So unfortunately, I was not able to get any good photos of those because I did not want to risk getting stuck here in New Caledonia. Anyway, this is Bert. Bert on the ship over Echo Link N7CS. Back to that.
Yes, from New Caledonia to Bothell, Washington. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Well, let's see. I did pull up the news item, and I just read the headline, but or some such thing. They ran aground. Haven't read the details, but I did get that much. Jim, man, oh man, good luck dealing with all those tooth problems. I've got them myself, and it's a never-ending thing. And as far as saying that interesting things going on, reminds me of the Chinese curse: "May you live in interesting times." And James, I did not know that about Physics Girl. I have really only just from our last session when you mentioned her. That's the first I'd heard of her. But that's a shame. Learning more doesn't mean that they can do anything about it, but they, and some of it's speculation. But the latest I've seen on that the virus doesn't actually leave the body and is still actively affecting the body, and that's what long COVID is. I do know, I just heard this recently as well, you can test positive for COVID, up to, a few weeks after you've had it, even with no symptoms. So that, to me, in my mind, but it's just... happy birthday, Lee. The day got away from me, but back to that, K9PQ.
Coming over the 08 machine for some reason this evening. Somebody's a little wide-banded while they're transmitting. So let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Connected N7CS.
Pulling into the ferry terminal in Bremerton to offload some of the evacuees. Okay, now they've taken that video off the internet, so yeah, it's getting dark. Yeah, I mean, holy moly. And there's still a lot of people on the ferry boat that I could see with everybody had life jackets on. So, yeah, and that's all pretty interesting. Yeah, and what a bummer about the dentist. Yeah, no, I ran into that before where there was some kind of growth at the dentist. So it took a oral surgeon to remove it and send it to the University of Washington, and of course none of that was covered by any insurance. The dental insurance gets out of it. That's just... on our own. Then the dental insurance takes over. But generally speaking, when you get into the jawbone and the infections and things like that, that it becomes more of a medical type of insurance claim. But until it's diagnosed, let you make a claim. Had a very uneventful blood draw finally. In fact, it was one of the best blood draws in recent memory. And then to even make things better, I got the results this morning, and right now my blood sugar, that's the whole thing. It's called A1C and that sort of business. But the blood sugar is the lowest it's been in 4 years. So evidently all this dietitian stuff and everything I've been doing is the right thing, and that's, you know, and I haven't been any sweet angel either as far as my diet goes. Well, I just ate 2 ice cream bars last night, so I mean, what can I say? So there you go, K7ITX back to net control.
FL-Digi interference.
Could you repeat who's next again, please?
W7ITL, Wade, in Tacoma.
ITL, can somebody switch? I'm not going to be doing my video for Zoom today. I'm going to try to do RF, but let's see. Today's been pretty busy. Started oil. I guess I don't have very much video going here. Let me see if I can get a little better. I might have to go up on my roof in a couple days and... Oh, I see myself barely. My antenna must not be pointed at the repeater, but I can see it kind of a foot. Had a long conversation with Nick Winter. He's one of the repeater maintenance, not maintenance, but maybe put determine if that will happen. We haven't set a date to go up there yet, but I get up there with them when they do that, so stay tuned on that. Chores around the house. We installed a little barrier in our garden for the deer, and hopefully that'll stave them off from getting into the plants. So use a little fishing wire and some stakes and kitchen so that we got power. And what else did I do? Installed a bottle, I guess, or a cup washer on our sink so that we can clean our cups Checking in from Sunday. Hopefully I'll have some more content for the next round. W7ITL, back to net.
ITL, thanks for that. Let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, let's see, Jim. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that physical. Lee, happy birthday, and Bob and someone else, I don't remember who it was, congratulations on becoming a great uncle. Someone mentioned the official title is great uncle. I'm not smart enough on that. Oh, Jim, okay. Congratulations, gentlemen. Dick, you lost a lot of weight. That has to help immensely. Yeah, that's really good. An occasional ice cream bar or something, you know, you gotta fall off the wagon every now and then. That's kind of the way I look at it. Wade, you have an invasive deer. My goodness. I wonder, okay, just a thought. Is there such a thing as maybe a scarecrow for deer? I know that some people put up like an owl. Some people will put up a plastic owl to keep birds from invading their garden. But I don't know, maybe like a stuffed bear or something. Just a thought. When I was living in Texas, I'm sure someone would have shot that bear, but we ain't in Texas, so you know it might be worth a thought. I don't know. Yeah, that's all the ideas I got. KD7
Let's go to James, WU7N in Bellevue.
Good evening, Dave. Thank you, WU7N Northeast Bellevue. Someone will have to take over the audio indicator while I'm... Oh, okay, Bob will do it. All right, so... Well, happy birthday, Lee. Congratulations. That's you know, good news that you did have another birthday. That's better than the alternative. I did see, I recall an advertising for the Washington State ferry system. It was saying they needed... The Washington State ferry system was advertising for someone who was responsible and well-grounded. But I didn't really understand what they meant by that. So anyway, it's good to know they got exactly what they're asking for. The little thing I saw, it was pretty exciting. I guess a tugboat came and offloaded the 400... the 490-something passengers and 15 crews. So that would be something you could, you know, say at your next party. I wore an official life jacket from the Washington State ferry system. But so anyway, well, I'm glad there was no injuries, and I hope the guy with a brand new car gets his car back. Blood draw. Well, you know what? You should write that name down. because I'm kind of the opposite end of the spectrum for my last blood draws. I try and help a doctor out, and I always coordinate with him when there's a new student. And, you know, when they have to get so many, like, you know, merit badge sticks. Bob. The normal 2 meters, isn't it? But yeah, you got to be tough. You got to help those students, you know, after 3 years. Oh, Bert has his life jacket out. So I guess they give you one if you pay the first class passage, you get one of those, and if you pay the lower rate, you get one like Jim is showing now that is really kind of a wimp one that really probably doesn't work very well. Anyway, so that's what I do with blood draws. I try to volunteer for the students. So far, it's actually worked out pretty well. I've had pretty good luck, and Richard, I did see a T-shirt months and months ago that said something about, I take a certain drug because of the side effects caused by this other drug, because of the side effects caused by this other drug. On and on about that, and saying, about how the side effects of one drug cause another, and then the punchline is, all because I don't want to adjust my diet and get exercise. And I thought that was a very funny T-shirt, but you got to really hang in there with it to the end. It's a long T-shirt. Let's see. When it comes to falling off the wagon, for diet or whatever, I am reminded. I think it was the famous quote. Can anyone tell me who said this? I believe everyone should stop smoking cigars. I've done it dozens of times. Comment on the owl. For some reason, I had all these birds hanging out around my front door. I think they were scoping it out for a nest or something. And I wouldn't mind the birds, but the problem is what they left behind. And I had inherited this owl with huge, big glass eyes from an estate clean-out I had done years ago. I thought, well, let's just see if this works. I put it out there, and cleaned off the bird poo for the umpteenth millionth time, and it never came back. No, it's not Groucho Marx, although that was a very good guess. If anybody has other guesses, then I'll tell you who it is, if I can remember myself. No, I remember now. Okay, this is James, WW7ATS. I'm going to turn it back to Dave, KD7ZYM.
U7N, thanks for that, James. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Oh, my regards to Jim with dental implants. I had one a couple of years ago where they had to do a bone graft, and then I had to wait 6 months for the bone graft to take. Then they could drill a hole through and set the pin work into the new bone. So anyway, it was a year-long process from the time I went in to have a tooth pulled with the graft, and then getting the tooth finally attached to the bone. So anyway, but I've had no problems since then. Seem to work fine. Well, I'm sorry that we seem to have this FL Digi thing going on tonight. For some reason, somebody's very close or very white-banded on their transmission that's getting into this repeater. So with that, I'll send it back to our birthday boy, N7KC.
Okay, very good. All very interesting. I was going to say, N7KC, I was going to guess Groucho, but apparently that's not the correct one. So I can't think of who else was really known for smoking cigars. So there you go. Say, last Wednesday night at the club meeting, one of the local guys gave me, he got it from an estate. Anyway, it's a pocket Morse code tutor by MFJ. We turn it on. I don't know whether you can. Anyway, it's got controls on one end here. This is absolutely a really nice gadget. It's an MFJ 418, and it's got a 500 word random word thing in it, plus you can change the speeds up to, I think, 80 words a minute or something. That should be plenty. And it's got all the characters, international, and keepers. It's just loaded with stuff. It's got a pick in it. Some memory that's loaded with it. And you can, if you want, you can laboriously put some of your own stuff in. But it's a big deal. I think there's about 19 menus or something like that that you step through. So this MFJ 418 turned out to be a lot of fun. So I'm having a good time with that. Anyway, that's the only thing that's new here, and I'm down to less than a minute, so time to quit. This is Dave, this is 7KC, Lee and Port Angeles, back to you. Thank you.
Casey, thanks for that. Moving down the list, we'll go to Bert, N7CS.
Okay, let's see. I turned the mic gain up a little bit in the app. Hopefully it sounds better now and I didn't go in the wrong direction. Okay, I'm getting a thumbs up there. Let's see. Well, yeah, you probably saw I was trying to put that life jacket on as a joke, and it turns out it's not exactly intuitive how to open that. Even though every cruise we have to watch the crew put it on themselves to see how it works. But they're already working on it unfolded. And instead, when you get them out of your cabin, they're in this origami thing that you have to figure out how to unfold. So now I guess I better practice that. I don't, but let's see what else we got going on. I did mention this before the net started, but not a lot of you were here then. But I received another invite from another ham club about wanting a presentation on ATV. So the Snohomish County Hams Club was interested in hearing something about it at some future point. So I'll send an email out about that later. But and I forgot to start my timer, so I don't know how long I've been talking. But well, that's probably it for now. This is Bert, remote using Echolink from New Caledonia. In 7CS, back to that.
N7CS, thanks for that. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Thanks. Let me just check and make sure everything's looking right. There we go. Okay. Well, I have one more guess. Churchill was not right. How about W.C. Fields? Could it be W.C. Fields? That's also not right. Oh, well. I think I've exhausted all of the cigar smokers I could think of. So let's see. Yeah, blood draw. I've been spoiled. You know, I think they call it Bloodworks Northwest now or something like that. It's a Puget Sound Blood Center thing, and they are excellent. Of course, they do it all day, every day, and they are really, really good at finding the vein and getting blood out of you. And generally, I've been fine with the doctor's office too, but every so often, you know, they start digging around in there because they can't quite get the vein, and they're just keep trying to get it, and that's no fun. So yeah, I'll stay away from the students. Thank you very much. Yeah, Dave, on the bone grafts, holy smoke. I've had a lot of dental work, a lot of dental problems, but nothing that bad, so I guess I should count my blessings. Very cool on the pocket Morse trainer there, Lee. I've never seen anything quite like that before, but it doesn't surprise me. I mean, I assume there are plenty of apps for smartphones as well, but that's kind of cool having a little device just there to do that. Good news, Richard, on your blood sugar. Happy to hear that. And yeah, go ahead and have the ice cream sandwich every so often. You know, you want to be able to enjoy those things that you can enjoy. Well, I guess that's about it for me. I'll see if I might have another turn here. If not, I'll say my 73s and send it back to net, K9PQ.
thanks for that. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Yeah, no, I was really surprised by my low blood sugar because, yes, I probably appeared to have lost weight, but believe it or not, I was even, let me think, 153 minus from 163. So believe it or not, I was 10 pounds even lighter than this, smaller than this. And that's when things went haywire. I mean, that was not a good thing, and that's when I hired a nutritionist, and I've been gaining weight, and it appears to be muscle mass because I've been eating a lot of protein and going to the gym and working with weights and the treadmill and all that, and so I feel real good. Just my whole body doesn't feel like it's falling asleep like it was now, and so it's just it's a great thing. Well, hi, Jessica. Jessica just showed up. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm telling you, no, that it's weird to lose weight when you don't want to. Usually you don't lose weight when you want to. It's, or it's always the reverse. Whatever you want, you don't get, and whenever you don't want it, you get. And so, I don't know what to say about that. Just go on the internet and look for any topics on how to gain weight. You won't find any. That's just not there. It's, or if it's there, it's obliterated by all the people telling you how to lose it. So I don't know. It's a pretty weird life. So in fact, I'm at the end of my rope. This is about when I start to cough and get all tired and everything. So I better hang it up while I'm well ahead. I'm sure James is going to cut loose with some kind of joke that will just put me into some kind of spastic coughing attack, because that's what it is. I can't... I don't know if it was Saturday Night Live or The Daily Show or something, but it was the most hilarious thing I've seen in a year or two, but it really hurts. I mean, I actually had to go to my rescue inhaler. I mean, and that's no fun. So I better get while the getting's good. So 73, everybody, and great to see you, Jessica, and thanks for the report from New Caledonia, Bert, and everybody else. I just love seeing everybody. K7ITX 73, and back to net control.
ATX, thanks for that. Let's go to Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
Well, this is W7ITL here in Tacoma. It's definitely nice hearing all the conversations tonight, and it's neat to see Bert checking in from all the way from the New Caledonia and being a different day. Let's see. Somebody said that they are a great-grandfather. I didn't know who said that. Maybe it was Jim, or was it Bob? Well, congratulations. And let's see. Blood draws. Yeah, I think I've talked about that before. There's a pretty good phlebotomist that takes my blood at the clinic that's near my house, but I think I told you the last time I went, it was closed, and I had to go to a different location, and it did not have the same experience that I normally do with where I don't feel anything. It's a little painful, but you know what? It's okay. It's only once in a while. Let's see. Anything else? The ferry accident. I guess that's not the only one that's happened in the recent memory. I was just doing a Google search on ferry accidents, and the big one was in Korea, but there was one in 2022 here in Washington that was in Fontenoy, terminal where the accident that caused about $7.5 million of damage to the ferry. I don't know how much this new accident's going to cost the ferry system, but that's unfortunate to hear. Hopefully everybody was okay. It sounded like they were. So I think that's it for me. Thanks for letting me chat tonight, and I'll see you guys later. 73 W7ITL. Back to net.
7ITL, thanks for that. Let's go on to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, yeah, implants. Definitely a lengthy process. They don't always advise you of that up front. You kind of find out as time progresses. Yeah, Lee, I have, I'm not sure if it's the exact same model, but I have one of those MFJ Morse code tutors as well. I used to actually carry it on me when I went on trips, and I'd listen when I got bored in hotels, and maybe they didn't have any American stations or something like that. I'd listen to it. But one day, I'm at the hotel, and a crew member in an adjacent room apparently heard, and said, "Hey, you better turn that thing off." We were in China, and China, when we went there, radios were prohibited, and they used to keep our passports when we entered the country. They would return them to us when we leave the country. And so this guy was saying, they might think you're a spy or something. Don't be listening to that Morse code in the hotel. So I thought, yeah, he might have a point there. So anyway, I kind of threw that in a drawer somewhere. I don't know where that thing is, but it was pretty slick. I had it for a number of years. And blood draw. Yeah, blood draw is not the only issue. Sometimes getting a vaccination or something. The last time my wife and I got a flu shot, we went together to, where did we go? I don't remember which pharmacy it was, but anyway, my wife went in there first. I'm sitting outside, and I hear my wife go, "Ow!" And then it was my turn, and then I knew why she went, "Ow." So, yeah, you gotta watch out for people with needles. Sometimes you luck out, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're stuck. Anyway, back to you, Dave, N7QO.
7QO, let's go to James in Bellevue, WU7N.
Connected KK7LMP. Connected KK7LMP.
An LMP, KK7LMP. This is WU7N with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. We're getting close to the end of our net, but would you like to say hello?
Hello, KK7LMP. So call me. Everyone have a great evening.
Hey, this is WU7N Whiskey Uniform 7 November. Well, we meet on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. So you're welcome to check in, check out, or join the conversation anytime, so is anyone else. Well, anyway, the trivia answer is Mark Twain, who wrote an entire essay, but you know, there apparently is controversy about who gets original credit for the famous line and whether it applied, whether it was first said about drinking or smoking. So I put the one site that I found in there that might be of interest to you, where it's called Quote Investigator, because I guess there's so many misattributed quotes. Someone actually started an entire website about, well, what do you think? Who said this first? It's interesting how the internet, maybe 1,000 years from now, it'll be self-correcting automatically, but right now it isn't. So anyway, there is that. So I'll toss that one out there. Getting really close to the end. So So I will say thank you very much for everyone checking in tonight, and let's give somebody else a chance before we have to wrap it up. This is WAU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
7N, and I'm going to pass up to Jessica, KF7UHK.
Okay, Jessica, up in Everett, we just watched the movie Cocaine Bear on Peacock. It was free on Peacock, and it's a horror comedy. So if you think it's for the whole family, I don't think so. It was silly, and a lot of blood. And otherwise, we went to Holland one year back in 2001, and we took along some FRS radios, some of those little family service radios, just before I had a ham license. And we decided to call each other from our little bed and breakfast to the hamburger joint. One of us went down to go fetch some food, and people looked at us like we had two heads. I'm telling you, they looked at us like we were super spies as we pulled our little FRS radio and talked back and forth. And I just thought it was really funny. It's like, and I never really thought about it until later. It's like I didn't see anybody else with those kind of things over there. So that's all we got for tonight. This is KF7 UHK.
UHK. Well, let's go to Lee in Port Angeles, N7JC, to finish off the net.
Okay. Well, very good. And Mark, that was Mark, AK7LMP, in Snoqualmie. Congratulations, Mark, on just getting your ticket last month. And good on you. It's something you'll never regret. Okay. Well, talking about phlebotomy, my wife was when she was going to be a teacher, and she had a biology major, and she spent about 3 or 4 days student teaching, I think her senior year, and decided that was not for her. So she got her degree, and then she went back and got an MLT, medical lab technician, and then she went for the big one, the MT, and ended up being the manager to bring lab manager to bring hospital and so forth. But what I'm driving at is that I got to be quick. She drew blood for 35 years or something, and she was the one that they went to if nobody could do it. And by the way, they can only stamp you twice before they have to get a supervisor. So there you go. By rule. Yeah. Lynn 7KC, Lee at Port Angeles. Back to you, Dave. Quickly, we're at 9 o'clock. Yep, 3-all.
KK7LMP disconnected.
7KC, thanks for that. And this ends the net for this evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. On behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. We'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a tone of 103.5 for our nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So with that, I'm signing off the net. This is Dave on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society at 9 o'clock. Good evening all. This is KD7ZYM.
CS disconnected. N7KC disconnected.